Hello everyone, welcome back to another 2026 prediction. This time we're taking a look at the 2026 House map. And I think it's pretty likely that the Democrats do end up flipping the House of Representatives, considering they're currently at 215 seats, while the Republicans are at 220. So they only need to flip 3 seats blue, and when the party out of power in a midterm, they typically gain like 5 to 10 House seats at least. That's on the lower side of estimates. They at least gain 5 to 10 seats. That's just how it always been. It's how it been in 2022. Even when Democrats actually expanded their Senate majority, they still lost the House of Representatives because the Republicans picked up just enough seats. So we're going to start off with the states most likely to be redistricted, and first is Utah. So far, they did have a court case like a few months before the 2024 election, either in September, October, somewhere around then. It might even been a few months before that. But they did have a court case saying that their current congressional map should be redrawn because of gerrymandering. So it's most likely that the 4th district is going to be created into a lean blue district, and that'll probably result in the Democrats netting a seat there. In Ohio, it has to have a redrawn map, and Republicans are most likely going to make the 9th district a likely red map, or a likely red district, and the 13th a lean red district, while the 1st remains the same with the 3rd and the 11th. Okay, with all the redistricted states aside, we're going to take a look at the biggest states. California has a bunch of House seats up for grabs here, and let's just get right into them. So Josh Harder, I think he's going to win re-election. Adam Gray, assuming that the Democrats will probably gain seats here. I think this is one of the seats that they managed to hold on. They even managed to win this district when Trump won it by 5, so Gray's a pretty good candidate. I think he holds on here. Jim Costa, this district is like zooming to the right, so it's a race to keep an eye on, but for now I think he holds on. Valadeo, he's a pretty strong candidate. I would say he would probably hold on here in a bluer midterm year, which is most likely going to be the case. Whitesides, I think he holds on here. Ken Calvert, I don't know. It's kind of a tough race to call here. He did underperform Trump by a pretty good amount, so I think this is going to be one of the top targets for the Democrats as a potential flip in California. I think they're going to pull it off with more money invested in this race. Derek Tran, he's a pretty solid candidate. I think he holds on. Dave Min, a weaker candidate, but he still didn't manage to underperform Harris that much. He was only a point behind her. Mike Yevon, he was pretty far behind Harris, so that's actually kind of surprising. So I'm putting this as lean blue. And the California 40th District, Young Kim. Young Kim won by a pretty big margin in 2024, but I think it's going to be a bit lighter of a margin next time in 2026. I'm putting her race as lean R, and it's not that Republican of a district anyway. Let's see. Yeah, Trump only won it by 2 points in 2024, but she won it by 10. But I think Democrats are going to invest a lot of money into this district, considering they flipped a lot of other red districts to California blue in 2024. There's going to be more money to spend next race in 2026. So let's head to New York next. Mike Lawler, he's most likely running for governor, so that seat's going to be open again. So in the 4th district, I think Laura Gillen ends up winning, same with Tom Suozzi. John Moynihan, I think he's going to end up winning here by a likely blue margin like last time. Josh Riley, he's a pretty good candidate. He outperformed Harris by a decent amount. I think he's going to manage to hold up in this district here. Even if Lawler does well statewide, I think he's still going to manage to win here. Michael Lawler's seat, again, it really depends on how well Lawler does, because this is a very much a battleground district, and without him running in the House seat here, it's going to be a lot more competitive, and I think the Democrats be able to flip that seat blue. So we're just going to keep going through some of the more toss-up races. We just fix some ones that I really don't need much talking about. Illinois, we don't really need to talk much about that state, but there is one district there that was surprisingly competitive, and it was Sean Casten's district. So it's an inner Illinois here, and I'm putting this as a likely blue district. It was actually surprisingly competitive here. Okay. I think we'll finish up the West Coast. Why not? Alaska, it really depends on whether Marie Patola runs for this district. If she doesn't, Nick Begich is very favored to win. If she does, it's possible this race gets pretty competitive. For now, due to the uncertainty, I'm putting it as lean R. In Washington, we got a few competitive districts here. Kim Schreier, she's probably going to win. Marie Perez, she won by a pretty convincing margin last time around. I think she's in good shape in 2026. That district is also one of the few that trended Democratic, might I add. In Oregon, I think most of these districts are just going to be likely blue, honestly. They did really underperform Harris, which is kind of interesting for some reason. Janelle Bynum with Lori Chavez DeRimmer not running for this district again. She's in the Trump administration now. She's probably going to be fine here at winning re-election. So in Nevada, Republicans only have really one pickup opportunity here, and it's in the 3rd district because Trump won the district. The other two are most likely going to be likely blue seats. And so far, I think the Democrats are probably going to end up holding all those seats. In Arizona, we got a few competitive districts. The 2nd, it was pretty disappointing for Democrats because they put a lot of money in trying to flip this district, and it just didn't end up happening. So next time, I don't think they're going to put a lot of money into this district, and it's probably going to be safe red at this point in 2026. The other 3 districts, well, Greg Stanton, I think he ends up winning re-election here. Well, Swihart and Cisco Maney, I think, end up winning re-election as well, so there's really no big changes in Arizona. In Colorado, we have, I would say, 3 competitive districts, because look how bad Lauren Boebert underperformed here. She only won by 11 points. I think it's going to be under 10 next time around in 2026. She's just going to underperform there again. Jeff Hurd, I think he's in good shape to win re-election. Gabe Evans, it's such a narrow district here that I think Democrats have a good chance at unseating him in Colorado. So I think they're actually going to pull that off here. New Mexico is gerrymandered by the Democrats. It only has 1 competitive district in the 2nd, but Vasquez is most likely going to win re-election here because he defeated his challenger, who he unseated back in 2022 and 2024. Texas, we have 2 competitive districts. I also heard in the 15th district, Democrats are going to run someone pretty decent, but judging by how Republican this district is, I'm keeping it as safe red. And these 2 seats, assuming Henry Kuehler runs for re-election, it's probably going to be likely blue. Well, Vincent Gonzalez, he's going to be in a bit of a fight yet again. I think Republicans are going to put a lot of time and effort to try to beat him, but I think he's going to manage to hold on here in a bluer year. Nebraska's 2nd is up next, and again, Don Bacon just knows how to win a close election, so I'm going to give it to him yet again here. I think he's going to manage to hold on to that seat. I'm not going to doubt him like I have before. So let's head to Iowa next. In Iowa, we have 2 competitive districts. Marionette Miller Meeks underperformed Trump by 8%. I think Democrats are definitely going to target this seat, and I think she is the underdog at this point. I think Democrats are likely to flip her seat blue. Zach Nunn, on the other hand, he didn't underperform Trump that badly. I think he manages to hold on here. In Wisconsin, I'd probably put the 1st as likely R because he only won by 10. In 2024, it's going to be a bit bluer, I'm assuming. Derek Van Orden, on the other hand, look how much he underperformed Trump here. Trump won it by 7. He only won it by 2.5. So I think this is another pickup opportunity for the Democrats. And there's also the possibility of them redrawing the Wisconsin House map if they win the Wisconsin Supreme Court election here. They can make the 3rd district a lot bluer. Maybe even try to make the 1st district a lot bluer as well. So for now, I think Derek Van Orden, I think he's probably going to go down here. He's not that good of a candidate. He underperformed Trump by a lot. Next, we're heading to Michigan. Michigan, we got a few competitive House seats here. Slowden, I think she ends up winning by a likely blue margin. Rivet, I also think she wins by a likely blue margin. John James, I think he holds on here, but I think he'll be a bit more competitive. Tom Barrett, this is going to be a huge opportunity for Democrats to unseat him here. And right now, I think they managed to pull it off. He did outperform Trump by a good amount because of how weak the Democratic candidate is. But if they run someone good here, I think they could have the chance to unseat Barrett, considering how close of a district it was in 2024 presidentially. North Carolina only has one competitive district. Don Davis is likely to win re-election. He managed to win this district even when Harris lost it. In Virginia, we got a few competitive races. I don't think there's going to be much of a change. I think Higgins still manages to hold on here while Vindman wins. And I also think the Democratic incumbent in this race also wins re-election here by a bigger margin. So no real change. Pennsylvania, we got a few competitive races. So DeLuzzo, I think he ends up winning. Scott Perry, looking how close it was last time around and how he underperformed Trump that much, I think it's a prime target for the Democrats to win. Pennsylvania's 8th. It's a pretty red district, and even if Cartwright runs, it's not a guarantee. He ends up flipping this seat. For now, I think Bresnahan is favored to win. Ryan McKenzie, on the other hand, it's a pretty close district, and I think Susan Wild's probably going to try to flip this seat back to blue. So I think she's actually going to succeed in that, because I think Shapiro will have some coattails that helps out Democrats in Pennsylvania in the governor's race. So let's head to New Jersey next, because it's actually kind of interesting how much of a red shift we kind of saw in this state here. So we got 3 competitive districts here. Starting off with Tom Keene's district, I think he's favored to win here. He's actually a pretty good overperformer. He overperformed Trump by 4. That's pretty impressive. So I think he manages to hold on here. The other 2 districts, I think they're likely to go likely blue. Same with the 9th. I think it's going to go likely blue as well. So no real change in New Jersey. So now we're going to go to Maine. And right now, Jared Golden, it's looking like he's going to retire and run for the governor's seat in Maine overall. So that means Maine 2nd's not going to be that well defended for the Democrats, and Republicans have a prime pick opportunity in this Trump +9 district. I think they're going to end up picking it up here, since Jared Golden's likely to run for governor in Maine. Unless he changes his mind, then I'll change my mind on Maine 2nd if he does. But for now, since he's running for governor, in all likelihood, Maine 2nd's going to flip to the Republicans. The 5th district, it's going to be a likely blue district. It's a pretty likely blue district to begin with. In New Hampshire, we got 2 seats up for grabs here. And they're both incumbents here who outperformed Harris by a pretty good amount. And this map isn't getting redrawn, as Kelly Oyette indicated in an interview. She is not considering redrawing the map. Down in Florida, we got a few competitive seats, really in the Miami-Dade area. When Republicans seat up for grabs, it's probably going to be safe red. But keep an eye on these Miami-Dade seats. If Democrats keep losing voters here, these seats could get very competitive. For now, I think Frankel, she ends up winning by a likely blue margin. But these other 2 seats, I think they're only going to be lean blue. I think Democrats really have to worry about defending these 3 seats just because of how big of a shift Miami-Dade's going through currently. So this is where we end up with the map. 221 Democrats to 214 Republicans. There's a few flips on both sides of the parties here. But the Democrats managed to get a narrow House majority. So just judging by how midterm years are typically good for the party out of power, Democrats are pretty likely to end up flipping the House of Representatives. So they only need to flip 3 seats, and right now I think they're going to flip 6. So that gets them to 221 seats. So if you have a disagreement with this video or you agree with this video, let me know in the comments below. If you have any recommendation ideas. And if you're new to this channel, you should totally subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.